The Celtics are having yet another disappointing season. As this video is being recorded, the Celtics are a mediocre 23-23, which ranks just 9th in the East. After adding players like Dennis Schroeder and Al Horford in the offseason, this should have been a better team, but the Celtics are a 500 team just like they were last season. So what's the reason the Celtics are underachieving this year? I've identified 4 main issues with the team, so let's break it down. The first issue I'm going to discuss is Jason Tatum's regression. Tatum has had a very disappointing first half of the season. Before the season started, I made a video on why I thought Tatum would make a superstar leap this year, and that video has aged horribly. Instead of improving, Tatum's numbers are down across the board. Of course, 25 points and 8 boards a game looks like excellent numbers, but he's doing it on just 41% shooting from the fields and 31% from 3. Those are awful shooting splits. Too often, we see Tatum revert to the same bad habits that have plagued him for his entire career. He loves taking contested jump shots instead of attacking the rim and getting to the free throw line more. And the poor shot selection is a big part of the reason he's been inefficient this year. It's almost like he wants to be Kobe, who he trained with a few summers back and who he grew up idolizing. He's adopted the Kobe shot taking without the Kobe shot making. Tatum needs to have better shot selection, and he also needs to do a better job of setting his teammates up for easy baskets. 3 assists per game for a player with his usage rate is not very good. Tatum is far from the only problem in Boston, but his regression has played a huge role in Boston underachieving. The second biggest issue with this team I'm going to talk about is the lack of shooting. The Celtics rank just 23rd in the league in 3-point shooting. As a team, they shoot it at just 33%, which is below league average. It's hard to win with shooting that poor in the modern NBA. The lack of shooting shrinks the floor for Tatum and Brown. There's less driving lanes since teams aren't afraid to help up the Celtics' poor shooters. The poor outside shooting probably also contributes to the bad shot selection from Tatum because there's not many driving lanes when the paint is completely clogged. Teams have no issue helping off of poor shooters like Marcus Smart because they'll live with an uncontested shot from a bad shooter over Tatum and Brown getting all the way to the rim. This is clearly a roster construction problem. The front office didn't do a good enough job of surrounding Tatum and Brown with good outside shooting. Head coach Udoka compounds the issue by running too many big lineups with both Al Horford and Robert Williams. Having 2 non-shooting bigs next to Tatum and Brown clogs their driving lanes. Udoka could improve the Celtics spacing by playing Grant Williams more and Al Horford less. Grant Williams is shooting 42% from 3 on the season, so he could help. Unfortunately, Aaron Nesmith, who was supposed to become a good 3-and-D player, hasn't made a step forward. He's only shooting 23% from outside this season. The Celtics need some more good 3-point shooters around their dynamic duo of Tatum and Brown. The next main issue with the Celtics is the lack of a high-quality floor general. Having a really good starting point guard would make Tatum and Brown's life a lot easier because they can set them up for easier baskets instead of them having to ISO all the time. Dennis Schroeder is a good player, but he's not a natural playmaker and he's much more of a score-first point guard. Marcus Smart and Payton Pritchard aren't very good floor generals either. It's clear that a high-quality point guard that can run the offense is desperately needed. The last time the Celtics had an elite point guard, Kemba Walker, they went to the conference finals and lost in a tough 6 games to the Miami Heat. So we have seen the duo of Tatum and Brown work when playing next to a competent point guard. The last issue I'm going to talk about is the coaching of Imei Udoka. I hate to throw Udoka under the bus because, to be fair to him, he is a first-year head coach, but he has made some questionable decisions. For starters, he hasn't done a good job of getting the Celtics to move the ball. You would think as a Greg Popovich disciple, he would instill a motion offense with lots of ball and player movement, but instead, the Celtics offense is incredibly stagnant. This is reflected in the fact that the Celtics rank just 22nd in the league in assists per game. Instead of generating high-quality looks, the Celtics rely on difficult shot making. This tends to hurt the Celtics late in fourth quarters when in crunch time, instead of running a play, Boston offense tends to just be give the ball to Jason Tatum and everyone watch. That works when you have Kevin Durant on your team, but Tatum hasn't been good in the clutch this season. In fact, Tatum only has a field goal percentage of 37% in the clutch this year. This has contributed to the Celtics being one of the worst fourth quarter teams in the league. So far, Udoka looks like a significant downgrade from head coach Brad Stevens, who was great at drawing up plays, especially late in games. It hasn't been a complete disaster for Udoka. To his credit, he's improved the Celtics defense from middle of the pack last year to top 5 in the league this year. That's great, but his poor coaching decisions have also contributed to a bad team offense. The Celtics also rank just 19th in offensive efficiency, which is a shame for a team with this much offensive talent. So there you have it, guys. Those are the 4 main issues with the Celtics team. I do believe the Celtics could be contenders again, but that will require much better 3-point shooting on the team and a much better starting point guard. The Celtics could look to the trade market to add some more talent. But now I want to hear what you guys think. Tell me in the comments if you think the Celtics need to make a trade, and who do you think they should trade for? Drop a like and hit that subscribe button if you enjoyed this video and want to see more Celtics content just like it. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.